Kind of keeping on the topic of attendance with Sacramento. As we know, MLS has a huge spectrum of attendance when it comes to the teams because you have your Atlantas and your Seattles, and then you have your Chicagos and your Colorados. So, kind of a two-part question here. Where do you guys think the Sacramento, when they join MLS, will fall within that attendance spectrum? And then also, do you guys think that over time they'll be able to maintain that attendance, or do you think that within a couple of years into the league, it might start to fall off?
So Sacramento has always been a hotbed. There's always been a need or want for soccer from the time of the Sacramento Knights to the Geckos. There was always a loyal following of those groups. You're not going to see attendance drop off. As it relates to the stadium and what you have, you don't have the capacity of Seattle or Atlanta, but you do have a stadium that will bring in, close to 20,000, and it will fill. If you build it, they will come. And Sacramento has, being in the middle of the region, right? People from Modesto, like Luis, Clovis, Fresno doesn't have a team. Maybe even as far as Reading, they're going to come to watch these games, and it's gonna pick up steam as we go. That stadium will be sold out often, and unless you put out a really bad quality team that's losing matches, 5-0, 4-0. I don't think that is going to change. If you're respected and you're respectful on the field, you're putting out a good product, you're making it fun and entertaining, you have a good game day atmosphere, you'll be fine. And we see that. I mean, people still go to Chicago Fire games, I assume, right? Colorado?
Maybe. Well,
Dynamo?
Yeah. Well, the reason why I asked this is mainly, we saw it firsthand with New York City, right? New York City in their first year were bringing 35, 40,000 people to their games. Now they're struggling to get over 20. That is mainly because of the fact that they aren't building their own stadium. And I get that, but it's also because I think, especially in the New York market specifically, New York is very, very full of fair weather. I'm just going to follow whatever's there. So I didn't know. I know you talked a little bit about how it is a hotbed and there was stuff there, but the question that really it stemmed from that was, is this going to be another New York City where you're getting 40,000 year one, and then by year 5 you're at you're the same place where Red Bull are, which we're not going to.
No, because yeah, New York. I mean, they jumped in and they didn't have a story, right? They didn't have a history. They were just like, oh, hey, we have this fancy new team that we're going to bring in, these awesome older players who succeeded in Europe, and we're going to build off of them and make this extravagant thing. We're going to play at Yankee ballparks, and we're going to sell it out every time, right? But eventually, when your product is not growing, and you can't expect people to go to a baseball stadium and watch a soccer match. You can do it for a football match because it's all the way around, but you have those areas at a baseball stadium that are impeded, your view's impeded. Heck, Fenway has got a big pole in front of one of their seats, so it's like you go to every inning.
Yeah.
But for the most part, you can't play in a baseball stadium. If you're not willing to expand, then you might as well just stay away. I would love to see New York FC fold, just because they don't pull or draw like they should. And it takes away from the game. You can't watch it. Look, how boring is it to watch soccer games without noise or fans? It's essentially what you get with New York, right? Not the Red Bulls. Well, kind of with the Red Bulls, but not as bad. But it's a finicky fan base too. The fan base wants wins. And if you're not providing that regularly, you lose loyalty, Mets.
Yeah. Well, you guys just jumped from my list of being a really good interview guest to probably closer to the top with those statements. So well done.
Yeah,
I haven't gotten to the Jets yet. Don't worry.
Oh goodness, you don't need to worry about that. That we do that to ourselves.
No, the NFL doesn't even worry about it. Let's be real.
Sure. I would also add to that too. So see, the stadium hasn't even been constructed. There's no they haven't even put up one thing. But they've already started to do deposits for seats too. I don't know if you put yours in already, John. I already got my deposit in there. Cool. And last I heard from my rep too is that they were close to filling up those seats that they placed deposits for too. So, I mean, I think that already sends a strong message to it, and that I think most of that stadium is going to be sold out before they're even halfway done with the stadium. But yeah, I mean, I see it being consistent. I see it being a little similar to LAFC too, where like they draw crowds always. They're in a perfect location, right? You know, in downtown too. So I see it kind of as a similar situation here as well too, especially with supporters group, and not just because I'm a part of the supporters group too, but I think it's only going to continue to grow even more too. And even now at our current stadium, when we pull a good group out there, and I can only imagine with MLS coming around, more and more people are going to want to join. They're going to have their own section, and it's going to be a little bit similar again to the LAFC 3252 in the section as well. So I see that being a consistent, and I look at it for this way. If in the USL, you know, like, yes, we saw it drop, but that's mainly because MLS not being called up on. Had that not been the case too, we would still be seeing sellouts every single season. And I was even telling John in our first podcast episodes, but for this season, and sadly, you know, we only got to see 2 games, but I was already thinking that this season and then the following season for USL, we would probably be seeing sellouts or seeing pretty much a really packed stadium as people get hyped up knowing that this team is going to join MLS too. And so I think if we start seeing that, especially in these 2 years, and if we look back at like our first 2 years, our first 2 seasons, we would always see people attending games regardless. It was USL and they were still attending games. Then I can only imagine that in the MLS, it's going to be the same way consistently, especially knowing that we're playing against these teams and there's more competitive teams. And I think beyond just that, and I forgot who, someone told us, we interviewed someone, and I remember someone mentioned this too, but they made a good point. We're not only going to be pulling in fans that do support the Republic, we're also going to be getting fans who might just be more casual fans that, you know, want to see like a Carlos Vela, want to see a Chicharito, you know, they want to go to these games because they're playing against this other team. Or maybe they're from LA and they're just LAFC or LA Galaxy fans too. So I think we're going to be pulling in fans from just all over. And Sacramento and just California can get pretty diverse too. And, you know, people coming in from all over the country too. So it's going to be a unique spot. And I think it's going to be a sellout every single time, or at least we're going to see like a pretty full stadium, no matter who we play with too. And again, that's just based on seeing the USL, seeing that even in the USL, we've had games where we might play against I don't know, just to think about maybe like a Rio Grande, who might not be as competitive, or even actually I'd say Tulsa. Tulsa is not that competitive, or even one of the second MLS teams too, where people probably
we drew with Tulsa. How are you going to say Tulsa's no good? We drew with them.
We shouldn't have though, but that's another.
But we did.
They changed their name though.
If we're talking about comparing teams based off things they should have done, Red Bull are the best team in MLS history.
Something like that. This is true. This is true.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's only gonna be like that because people support Sacramento regardless of who they play against. People are always there, so it's gonna be exciting times, and so, you know, we're looking forward to that.